Hey folks, let me show you a couple of tips on working with a product catalog page. What I'm going to show you is just how to change the picture and a little tip on working with the particular picture we have right here. The add to cart and the click for details, where to change that or the link for that, how to swap out your add to cart button and how to change the price. Now with the add to cart button, I have a separate tutorial that talks about working with PayPal buttons that goes into more detail. So I'm not going to duplicate that information. I'm just going to show you where in the code to change it. We use the add to cart button in multiple pages. So like I said, instead of talking about the same stuff and boring you to death, I'll just do that in a separate video if you need that information. Now each particular thumbnail right here, very much like the other thumbnails that we've worked with, picture, some links, and then we have some additional information down here. And what we've done is we just separated everything into a 4-column layout to make it easy for the user or the visitor to browse through, right? And each thumbnail has a link and it goes to the product details page. Okay. Now, one of the things that we'll get into when we're swapping out the picture here is the image here is actually a 400 by 400 pixel image. And if you've heard me talking other videos about trying to keep the smallest possible image for use, and yet I'm using a 400 by 400 pixel image for something that's more like 150 by 150. The reason for that is if when you're using a product details page right here, if you're using a larger image right here, you can use that same image right here and it will automatically resize down, which is kind of nice. So we have in this particular case scripted it so that your product catalog page will resize the larger image down so it's smaller, but that way you can reuse the image in the other page, only having to download that image once. So that was the logic behind that. Whether it's flawed or not, I hope it makes your life a little bit easier. So let's get started. Let's pop into Dreamweaver, open up the catalog page, and here is the product details page. Now there's only one of them, so if you and every single item in the catalog right now currently links to this one page, but obviously you'll probably want to create your own product details page for each item if you're going to use it. All right, so just simply do a copy and paste and then rename this second page to product details dash whatever you want to call it, shoe1.htm, for example, for this first shoe, whatever makes sense to you. Now we talked about changing the image. Very simple, just double click. Our default image size that we've used here as an example is 400 by 400. Like I said, you can reuse that image on your product details page if you want to. So if you want to use something a little smaller, you can do that. You can get away with that. I would say go down no less than 200 by 200, but we've used a 400 by 400. Stick with that. It's not a very large file size, and it will resize nicely, as you can see. So changing the pic, just like every other image we've talked about, double click to open up the select image source window, browse through, select your replacement image, click it, and it automatically changes in the page, right? Now below that we have the PayPal button code right here. We'll get into that in a second, but we have the price, and you can't really see it in the page that well because, or at least in this particular template, because of the color doesn't pop up very well. It works great in the web browser, just not so much in the design window. So we're just going to sort of double click or get into this area here and flip into code view, and we're going to sort of scroll down until we find the price 1 and the price 2. And this is where we can change the word where it says was $99 and sale $69. Well, was 99, sale 69. So in this case, this is one of those things you're going to change in the code view. Just double click on the 99, type in the new price, type in 99, and there you go. If you don't want a price 1, just get rid of the entire div class. As a matter of fact, I mean, you could get rid of this div class right here, but matter of fact, just double click on the word was, double click on the price and the $sign, and leave those fields blank in case you ever want to bring it back or put some other information in there. You can put whatever information in there you want, whatever words, verbiage, numbers. It's just a container that holds stuff, and the stuff we have in there right now is text, so put in whatever you want. Okay, so that's changing the price and the sale price and the original price. That's that part done. We've talked about changing the image. You just double click on it to open up the select image source, and you can browse for a new image, right? And we also have that link. So when you hover over the add to cart and the click for details, that sort of shows up. And that's one of those things that just doesn't show up in the design window because it's a hover effect. So once again, we'll select the image. We'll go back to code view right here. And here's the add to cart. And here's the click for details information. So it's one of those things, yet again, if you didn't really want the that information to show up, if you sort of look back here, we have a cart or a details div container. Once again, get rid of the entire div container, right? Best thing to do is just maybe click on the word, cart here, go down to the quick tag selector, select the whole container, delete it, and that's it. It's gone. You won't see that anymore, and you won't need to use it, right? If you do want to use it, like I said, you can either change the text. You can even change the font awesome icon being used. It's right here. And finally, here is the link to the product details page. Now, we've changed ours to product details shoe1.htm, so I'm just going to double click over here, get the entire copy, the entire link name, and go to my catalog page here, and I'm going to scrub over what I had there for product details. I'm going to paste in the new link, or for those who are confident with their typing skills, you can just do a shoe1.htm, or see, I've already typoed because I added an S. So that's why I copy paste. So that's that. Boom. Bob's your uncle. So that takes care of the pictures. It takes care of the add to cart or the click for details. It takes care of the pricing. But what about this add to cart, this PayPal button? Like I said, in another video, I have information that talks about creating your own PayPal buttons and modifying the PayPal buttons and whatnot. But this is the form target of PayPal right here, and this is what you're going to be replacing. So basically where it says form target of PayPal, right, all the way down to the closing form tag down here. Okay, so basically in Dreamweaver, it's nice because it puts everything in a different color for you. So we'll select everything like that. It says div class, catalog add to cart, and it ends with a closing div. We've got everything in between. We just get rid of that and paste in our new code in between in this blank div container right here.